So, as most people have probably already heard, we have now brought back dire wolves from extinction. This leads us down a really interesting topic. Deoxyribonucleic acid, or better referred to and known as DNA, the fundamental building blocks of everything that we know to be alive. Now, we've been researching DNA for a very long time, and there's a whole other topic that can stumble down a rabbit hole, including the ancient Egyptians and why their human bodies with the alligator heads, or, the head of the Sphinx, right? And that's a whole different rabbit hole that we won't go down today, but I will say that the genetics and idea of understanding what really creates us, what makes a human, what makes a living being, is what has got us so intrigued in the research of DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a very fascinating subject. Once we started to dive in and understand this, we realized that DNA is actually what gives every living thing the instructions, the structure or blueprint, if you will, for how we are formed. Every allergy that we will have, from our hair color down to our eye color, down to our mannerisms and how we'll act, and diseases that we'll end up getting, and things that we'll be allergic to, like I said, or many, many other things. Everything that makes up and comprises what we are, what you are, is all in your DNA code, your genetics. Studying DNA and the DNA of other living creatures and beings is what's allowed individuals and other research companies like Colossal Biosciences to be able to re-engineer what we know to be the gray wolf today, and add a couple of different features that they were able to dissect from different DNA of fossilized dire wolves that were 13,000 years old or so, plus many other more from the research that I've gathered, in order to recreate or reanimate, re-engineer a dire wolf, using traits from dire wolves that they were able to gather from DNA from fossilized bones, that they were able to engineer or add into gray wolf DNA that would accentuate the traits of a dire wolf. Thus, we now have dire wolves brought back from extinction, or just genetically re-engineered and remastered gray wolves. I don't know, that decision is totally up to you, but we are continuing the venture down with DNA, and Colossal Biosciences didn't just start with dire wolves. They've been on this for quite a while. Their goal and their mission is to help save the extinction level of event of any and all different creatures and animals. So that being said, now they're working on the woolly mammoth and tampering with the woolly genes, because they noticed that the Asian elephant is the closest thing in relation to the woolly mammoth. They're experimenting with hair genes and such, so they started with mice, and now we have these woolly mice. Tell me that's not pretty cool too. And this is just the beginning. And by beginning, I don't mean that these cute little mice are the beginning or ultimatum of anything. I'm saying that the mammoths that are here, that are coming next, are just the beginning of what Colossal Biosciences and so many other different genetic companies have planned in store. The continuation and exploration of genetics throughout any and every different species, including ourselves. Now, here's where it's interesting. We're going to jump onto the rabbit hole a little bit of cloning. Now, that topic is right in line with genetics. They say that the first cloning actually happened with tadpoles back in the 1950s. There is rumors of a sheep that was cloned in Austin, Texas. I heard about this a very long time ago. I can't really find too much information on it, so I'm not going to speak too much on it, but I will say that there is Dolly, the sheep, in 1996 that was cloned in Scotland, and this is just the beginning. This is in the 90s when cloning with genetics is happening. So obviously that idea of science fiction with you being able to have pet cemetery as a real situation isn't so far-fetched and off. You actually can now recreate your pet or clone your pet. If your pet's getting sick or something's happening, there are now options to clone your pet. And of course, stop there. Genetics are being worked with all around the world, and in fact in California they even have a Project Baby Bear, where they are now using a rapid whole genome sequencing in order to help understand and diagnose different infants and babies and be able to save their lives through the process of genetic editing. So, what kind of sci-fi movie did we wake up in again today? Like we already know, we are experiencing day in and day out. We have creatures now that are being brought back from extinction into our reality all over again. We have pets that you're able to clone now, and other creatures if you see fit to as well and got the money to back it up. And we even know that there's genetic editing and manipulation that's going on with humans that is legal in different states, and that is what the public is privy and aware of. I can only imagine what is really going on with a whole lot of money behind it under a whole lot of darkness. I'm sure this is a whole different tunnel and rabbit hole to go down another day. But it does still face the big premise question with all this going on right now. How do you feel about it? Do you fall on the side of you need to let naturally lie where it lies? God is in charge of what happens with our creations and existence? Or do you see that science is maybe a potential tool that a divine being that could have handed us, and maybe it's okay to use it if it does call for saving something or someone's life, or even bringing it back from extinction? I don't know. It's a lot of questions there. What do you think?